Hello and welcome back to English with Cheri. I'm Cheri, and joining me today, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Nic.
Hey, good to be here. And hi to everyone listening, whether you're on the bus, cooking dinner, or just relaxing at home with a cup of something warm. We're really glad you're here with us today.
Though today's topic is one that I absolutely love because it is so practical. We're talking about what do people actually talk about in everyday life? You know, the kinds of conversations you have with a friend, a coworker, a neighbor, or even a stranger.
Right, and this is super useful, especially if you're at an A1 or A2 level, because you might know your vocabulary, you might know some grammar, but then you meet someone and you think, okay, what do I actually say now? Where do I even start?
That blank moment. We've all been there. Even native speakers. I have that sometimes. I meet someone new and I'm like, so, nice weather today?
Which is actually a perfect segue into our first topic, because that is literally the number one thing people talk about, the weather.
The weather. Such a classic. But why is it always the weather? Why do people go there first?
Well, it's something everyone experiences, right? It's shared. You don't need to know the other person well at all. You don't need to know anything about them. You just look outside and start talking.
That makes sense. And it's totally safe. Nobody's gonna get upset if you say, oh, it's cold today.
No arguments. Well, unless someone's really passionate about climate change.
Fair point. So, what are some simple things people say about the weather at an A1 or A2 level? So, simple phrases, you'd hear things like, it's really hot today, isn't it? Or, it's so cold, I can't believe it. Or, did you see that storm last night? It was crazy.
Oh yeah, and then people respond with things like, I know, right? Or tell me about it. Those are really natural, really common responses.
And you can build on it too, like, it's been raining all week, I'm so tired of it. Or, finally, some sunshine. People say that a lot when the weather gets better after a gray week.
Yes, finally some sunshine. I say that all the time, especially in winter.
And you can even use the weather to ask about plans. Like, oh, it's so nice outside. Are you doing anything this weekend? It's a very smooth way to move into another topic.
Oh, that's clever. Weather as a stepping stone to the next conversation.
Exactly. So, learners, if you are ever in a situation where you don't know how to start a conversation, try the weather. It works. It really works.
Okay, next topic, and this one's my personal favorite, food.
Oh, food, yes. People could talk about food for hours.
Right? Like, I had the best pasta last night, and I told 3 different people about it today. I am not ashamed.
That is so relatable. Food conversations happen all the time, at work, at home with family, with friends.
So, what kinds of things do people say? What does a food conversation actually sound like?
So you'll hear things like, have you tried that new restaurant on Main Street? Or, I made this really good soup yesterday. And then the other person goes, oh really? What's in it?
And then boom, you're in a 20-minute conversation about soup.
Exactly. And food conversations are great because everyone eats. It's universal. You can talk about what you cooked, what you ordered, what you want to eat.
Or what you're craving. I'm always craving something. Right now, I really want pizza.
You always want pizza.
It's the lifestyle, Cheri.
Other food phrases you'd hear a lot, that was so good, I had seconds. Or, I'm trying to eat healthier, so that one comes up all the time. People love to talk about their diet or what they're trying to change.
And asking for recommendations like, do you know a good place for sushi? Or what should I order there? People love giving restaurant tips.
They really do. So food is a wonderful, safe topic. It's personal enough to feel like a real conversation, but not so personal that it feels uncomfortable.
Okay, next one. Weekend plans, or what you did on the weekend. This one comes up every single Monday morning at work.
Every Monday. How was your weekend is basically the default greeting at the office. Someone says it before they even say good morning.
And it's such a great question because people love talking about their free time, what they did, where they went, who they saw.
So typical phrases, I went to the farmer's market, or we had a big family dinner, or I just stayed home and watched Netflix the whole time. That's also a very common answer.
Very common and completely valid.
Completely valid. And then the follow-up might be something like, oh nice, what did you watch? And suddenly you're in a whole conversation about TV shows.
Which is also a huge topic on its own, but we'll get to that.
You'd also hear things like, I was so tired. I just needed to rest, or the kids had a soccer game, so it was a really busy one. Real life, real stuff.
And talking about upcoming plans is also really natural. Like if it's Thursday or Friday, people start asking, so, any plans this weekend? It feels friendly. It feels like you care about the other person's life.
Because you do care, or at least you should.
Well, even small talk has warmth in it. You're paying attention to someone. That matters.
It really does. And for learners, practicing this kind of small talk is honestly one of the most important things you can do, because this is the language of real life.
All right, next topic. Work or school? Big one.
Huge, because so much of life revolves around work or study, and people share a lot through these conversations.
So, what do people actually say? Because I feel like it's not just, how's work? There's more to it.
Right. Sometimes it's very simple. How's work going? Pretty good. Busy, but okay. But sometimes people vent a little. Oh, I have so much to do this week. Or my boss is driving me crazy.
Oh, complaining about work is basically its own genre of conversation.
It really is, and it's very bonding. When you complain about work with someone, you feel connected.
Misery loves company.
Exactly. But there are positive things too, like I got a new project and it's actually pretty exciting, or I have a big presentation tomorrow. I'm a little nervous.
And the other person might say, oh, you'll do great, or good luck, let me know how it goes. Those are very natural, warm responses.
For students, it sounds very similar. I have a test next week, or my teacher gave us so much homework, or I finally finished my essay.
That last one deserves a celebration.
It really does. So work and school conversations give you a window into how someone is doing in their life. And they're a great way to connect with people on a real, meaningful level.
Okay, family and friends. People talk about the people in their lives all the time.
All the time. My sister just had a baby, or my friend moved to a new city, or we're throwing a birthday party for my dad this weekend.
And these conversations feel warm, personal. It's how you really get to know someone, right? You learn about their world, their people.
Yes, and when someone shares something about their family, it's really polite to ask a follow-up. Like, oh, is this her first baby? Or how does your friend like the new city?
That shows you're listening, and people notice that.
They really do. And for learners, this is also such a great area to talk about yourself. You can share a little about your own family, your background.
Simple stuff like I have 2 brothers, or my parents live far away from me, or I'm really close with my grandmother. These feel small, but they open doors.
These kinds of details make you feel like a real person in a conversation, and people respond to that authenticity.
And sometimes you say something small and the other person says, oh, me too. And suddenly you have this little connection over something totally simple.
That feeling is the best. That is honestly what conversation is for. That moment of, oh, we're the same.
Okay, let's talk about the fun stuff. TV shows, movies, music, because this comes up constantly.
Constantly, especially now with so many streaming services, everyone's watching something and everyone wants to talk about it.
And people get very passionate. Have you ever asked someone about a show they love and then they just go?
They can't stop.
They cannot stop talking. It's beautiful.
So common phrases here. Are you watching anything good right now? Or have you seen this movie? It's amazing. Or I just finished this series and I'm completely in my feelings about it.
That last one is so real. Finishing a show you love is an emotional experience.
Very emotional. And then you need someone to talk about it with.
Exactly. And music is very similar. Have you heard this song? I can't stop listening to it. Or I've been really into this artist lately. Those conversations start so naturally.
And this is wonderful for English learners because you already know things about shows and music. You can bring your own knowledge into the conversation. It doesn't have to be about English culture only.
That is such a good point. You could talk about a show or a movie from your own country and teach the other person about it. People love that. They love learning something new.
It's a two-way street. You're not just receiving the conversation, you're contributing to it. And that makes it much more interesting for both people.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of great topics today. Weather, food, weekends, work and school, family and friends, entertainment. Before we wrap up, can we give learners a few practical tips for actually using these in real conversations?
Yes, great idea. So tip number 1, ask open questions, not just questions with a yes or no answer. Instead of, did you have a good weekend, try, what did you do this weekend? That gets the other person talking. It gives them room to share.
Love that. And tip number 2, use what they say. If someone mentions they went hiking, you ask, "Oh, where did you go?" Or "Do you hike often?" You build on their answer. That's how real conversation flows. It doesn't feel like an interview.
Tip number 3, it is completely okay to pause. It's okay to say, "Oh, let me think about that," or "That's interesting. I never thought about it that way." You don't have to respond instantly. Native speakers pause all the time.
So true. And tip number 4, be genuinely curious. If you're actually interested in the other person, the conversation gets so much easier. You stop thinking about grammar and you just talk.
That is honestly the best tip. Curiosity is the secret ingredient. When you care about the other person, the words come.
And one more tip, practice these topics out loud, even if you're alone. Describe your weekend to yourself. Talk about your favorite food, your favorite show. It sounds a little funny, but it genuinely works.
It works because you're building comfort with the phrases, and when you need them in a real conversation, they come out naturally because you've already said them before.
Practice makes comfortable. Not perfect, comfortable.
I love that. Practice makes comfortable.
All right, so to summarize today's episode, people talk about the weather, food, weekends, work and school, family and friends, and entertainment. These are the big everyday conversation topics, and now you have them.
And the real secret is not just knowing the vocabulary. It's being curious, listening well, and building on what the other person says.
And one more tip, practice these topics out loud, even if you're completely alone. Describe your weekend to yourself in English. Talk about your favorite food, your favorite show, what you want to do next vacation. It sounds a little funny, but it genuinely works.
And thank you so much to everyone listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who's also learning English. It really helps us reach more learners around the world.
And if you can, leave us a review. We love hearing your thoughts. It honestly makes our whole day.
All right, so to summarize today's episode, people talk about the weather, food, weekends, work and school, family and friends, and entertainment. These are the big everyday conversation topics. And now that you've listened to this episode, you already have a head start.
And the real secret is not just knowing the vocabulary, it's being genuinely curious, listening well, and building on what the other person says. That is what real conversation looks and feels like. And you are more ready for it than you think.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.